Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the next question of chapter number 14, and the title of question is Ecological Succession. So in last video lecture we had talked about the important and interesting question of the ecological pyramids. In that question we had talked about the three types of pyramids: pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. And today we will learn about the new concept of ecology, which is ecological succession. So the title of question is ecological succession. Okay, now we will go to the notes. See, title is what? Title is ecological succession. It is a question of 3 mark. First point, we can say that we know all about the characters of population as well as community. So first point is trying to say like this: all the characteristic of population and community. So we already know about the characters of population as well as community and their response to the surrounding environment. It means there means what? There means population and community. So the meaning of sentence number 1 will be like this: the characters of population and community will be known by us and their response towards surrounding environment. Okay, point number 2, we can say that the response of population and community. Again, the response of population and community vary from an individual response. So we can say that different type of response will be there compared to the individual response. So point number 2 is completed. Now see point number 3. Now we will talk about the another aspect of community response to the environment over time. So here we are going to talk about the some aspect of community response to the surrounding environment over the time. So see, again, first 3 points will be like this: we know all about the characters of population as well as community and their response to the surrounding environment. The response will be different from an individual response. It means the response given by community and population will be different compared to an response given by individual organism. So we will talk about the another aspect of community response to environment over time. So now see, the next concept will be there. The important thing is that all communities having unique structure and the composition. It means the structure and composition of each and every community will be different. So you can say here the structure and composition of each and every community means ecosystem will be different. See, some community having the aquatic animals, while other community having the terrestrial type of animals. So the flora and fauna of each and every community will be different and it will be unique. So again, point number 1, it is important to note that all communities having unique composition and the structure. This both composition and structure constantly change in response to the changing environmental conditions. It means you know that the all communities having what? All communities having unique structure and composition. So this unique structure and composition will be changed constantly according to what? According to their surrounding environmental conditions. It means the meaning will be like this: it means we can say that if the environmental conditions will be changed, then composition and structure of communities will be also changed. So it's all about the point number 1. Now see point number 2, there is a definition of climax community. So now see, we are talking about one special type of community which is known as climax community. Climax community is also known as final community or the last community. So it is important definition, question of 1 mark. Because of this all changes, which changes? Because of the surrounding environmental changes, community will be formed which is nearly equal with the surrounding environment. It means because of the outer surrounding environmental changes, community will be formed which is or which having the nearly equilibrium with the surrounding environment, which is known as the climax community. So again we are going to revise this. After so many changes according to what? After so many changes according to environmental conditions, so now new community will be formed which is known as the final or last or the climax community, and this community is nearly similar with the surrounding environment. So it is also one liner question. Climax community will be nearly equilibrium. It means nearly similar with the surrounding environment. That's why it is known as the climax community. So see here, in this page total 3 plus 2 sentences are there. Now we will go to the next one, next page. See, another definition will be there. So see point number 3, definition will be of the ecological succession. So now we have the new word which is known as succession. So the proper word is ecological succession. It means the process of succession found in ecology is known as the ecological succession. So now we will go to the meaning or the definition of the ecological succession. See, the gradual and fairly predictable changes in the species composition of a given area is known as ecological succession. See, in short, we can say that ecological succession is one type of change. It is what? It is one type of change which is found in a particular area. Particular area means particular ecosystem. So again, it is one type of change which is found in particular area means particular ecosystem in a given time. In a given time. And in this succession, the changes found in what? The changes found in the species composition. So the composition of species will be changed, and these changes will be gradual, means step by step, and predictable, means you can predict the changes. So it is a meaning of the definition of ecological succession. Again we are going to revise this definition. What is meaning of the ecological succession? It is one type of gradual and predictable changes found in the species composition of a given particular area, means ecosystem is known as the ecological succession. So point number 3 is about the definition of ecological succession. Okay, now see point number 4. During ecological succession, some species, colonies, and area will be formed. It means during the ecological succession, some new species will be formed. It means colonies of the some species will be formed. It means during the ecological succession, the numbers of some species are going to increase while other species decline and ever disappear. So point number 4, in short we can say that about point number 4, during ecological succession, some species are going to increases in their number. Because of it, the colonies of species will be formed while other species decline, means decreases in their numbers, and it is also possible some species are going to disappear. Okay, so now these 4 points are completed. Again we will revise from here. So again see point number 1, important thing is that all communities having unique structure and composition. So this both structure and composition constantly change in response to the changing surrounding environment. Because of this changes, community will be formed which is nearly in equilibrium with the surrounding environment, which is known as climax or the last or the final community. So what about the ecological succession? It is one type of gradual and predictable changes in the composition of species of a given particular area is known as the ecological succession. During ecological succession, some new species will be formed and some species are going to increases in their number, some species decline and some species are going to be disappeared. So this concept is completed. Now see the next concept. So in next concept we have the definition of SERE. The entire sequence of community means all communities that successively change in a given area are known as SERE. So what is the meaning of SERE? It is nothing if the all means entire sequence of community that successively changes in a given area, it is known as SERE. Now see point number 2, we have a new word which is known as seral stages or the seral communities. So what is the meaning of seral stages or the seral communities? The individual transitional communities are known as seral stages or the seral communities. So point number 1, in point number 1 and in point number 2, two definitions are there. Now see in point number 3, it is important. In the successive seral stages, some changes are found. Okay, so during the process of formation of seral changes, some processes are there. See the first one is what? Diversity of species of organism. Point number 2, increases in the number of species as well as number of the organism. If the numbers are going to increases, then biomass also increases. So increases in the total biomass. So it is the second concept of this page. Okay, it is also completed. Now we will go through the textbook. So see, we can say that first line, characteristic of population and community and also the response to environment and how much response vary means different from an individual response. Let us examine the another aspect of community response to the surrounding environment over time. Okay, now see second paragraph. An important characteristic of all communities is that their composition and structure. So two words are important, their composition and structure. This both composition and structure constantly change in response to the changing environmental condition. This change is orderly and sequential, parallel with the changes in the physical environment. These changes lead finally to a community that is in nearly equilibrium with the outer environmental condition, and it is known as the climax community. So underline this word, climax community. Now see the next sentence. The gradual and fairly predictable change in the species composition of a given particular area is known as ecological succession. So it is also important definition, ecological succession. During succession, some species colonized an area, means increases in number, and whereas population of other species decline, means decreases in number, and sometimes it is possible some species are going to be disappeared and even disappear. Now see the last paragraph. The entire sequence of communities that successively change in a given area are known as SERE. The individual transitional communities are known as the seral stages or the seral communities. Now see next sentence. In the successive seral stages, there is a changes in the diversity of species of organism, increase in the number of species and organisms as well as the increase in the total biomass. So first three paragraphs are completed. Okay, now we will go to the next concept. See, first point, today's earth means current earth. It means see around you. So you are seeing the today's earth, which is current earth, is the result of millions of years. So you are seeing the earth is one type of result of the process which is done by millions of years. It means the present day communities in the world have come to be because of succession that has occurred over million of years since life started on the earth. Okay, now see point number 2. Actually, succession and evolution would have been parallel process at that time. You know that succession means change and evolution means also change. Okay, so we can compare succession and evolution both. So we can say that succession and evolution would have been parallel process at that time. So this concept of 2 points is completed. Now see, from above argument, what is succession? So now we are going to take a decision about the succession. Okay, so what is succession? So from above arguments we can say that succession is one type of process. Okay, see, it is what? It is one type of process that starts in an area where no living organism are there. One type of process that starts in an area where no living organisms are there. This could be areas where no living organism ever existed. Okay, for example, bare rock, or the areas in which somehow lost all the living organism that existed there. So you will remember point number 1, definition of ecological succession with their particular example. Okay, now see point number 2, very important point. If we talk about the types of succession, so there are main 2 types of ecological succession. First one, which is known as primary succession. Second one, which is known as secondary succession. So we can say that formed is known as primary succession and later formed is known as secondary type of succession. So in this page, first 2 points, and now see the definition of succession and the types of succession. You can say former primary succession and later secondary succession. Okay, now we have the most important part of this question. Okay, see, we have 2 parts. In left side, the portion of primary succession, while in right side the portion of secondary succession. So now we are going to talk about the informations about the primary as well as secondary type of succession. See, if we see the left portion is of the primary succession. See, first point, it is one type of former succession. You will remember example for MCQ: newly cooled lava, bare rock, newly created pond or reservoir. Okay, now see here in the right side, secondary succession, one type of later process found in an area where the biotic communities have been destroyed. Okay, some examples are there: abandoned farm lands, burned or cut forest, the land have been flooded. Okay, now see the point number 3, it is one type of slow process. Here see point number 4, it is one type of fast process. So it is one liner question. Primary succession is one type of slow process while secondary succession is one type of faster process. Okay, now see point number 5, it takes time, several hundred to several thousand years to produce fertile soil on bare rock. So that's why it is one type of slow process. Okay, so you will remember here examples of both primary and secondary. It is also possible that examiner is going to ask the question in the form of difference found between primary and the secondary type of succession. Okay, now see next concept. Because of ecological succession, vegetation will be changed in any community. Okay, so see, if ecological succession will be there, then vegetation of the community will be changed. Because of changed vegetation, this will affect on the food as well as shelter of different type of animals. So see, if ecological succession will be there, then vegetation will be changed. Because of changed vegetation, it will directly affect on the food and shelter of animal. So underline this both word, food and shelter. Thus, because of ecological succession, the numbers and types of animals and decomposers will also be changed. So we can say that because of ecological succession, underline first point the numbers, second point the types, third point is about the decomposers. Okay, so first 2 point number and type of animal, and third one is about the decomposers also changed. Now see, in your textbook, the present day communities in the world have come to be because of succession that has occurred over millions of years since life started on earth. Actually, succession and evolution would have been parallel process at the time. It means there is a one type of connection found between succession and evolution. See, succession is hence a process that starts in an area where no living organism are there. Okay, so this second paragraph is all about the meaning and examples of succession, and see, last paragraph is about the primary succession, and this first paragraph is about the secondary succession. Okay, now see the last sentence of first paragraph. Since some soil or sediment is present, succession is faster than primary succession. So we can say that secondary succession is faster than primary type of succession. Okay, now see, description of ecological succession usually focuses on changes in vegetation. Means vegetation will be changed. Because of changed vegetation, it will be effect on the food and shelter of animals as well as the decomposers also. Okay, so that's why the numbers and types of animals and decomposers will be changed. So this concept is also completed, and now we have the last concept. Okay, so because of primary or secondary or natural or the human induced disturbance, it means because of either primary succession or secondary succession or natural activities or the human induced activities, means disturbance like fire and deforestation. Underline this both word, fire and deforestation are one type of human disturbance activities. Okay, they both are one type of human induced disturbance. So this both can convert a several stages of the succession to an earlier stages. It means, in short, because of this all, either primary or secondary succession or natural disturbance or human induced disturbances, the conversion will be found in the successive stages. Now see point number 2. Because of disturbances, new conditions will be created which create new species and discourage or eliminate other species. It means, see, if the disturbance will be there, then because of disturbance new conditions will be formed, and if new conditions are there, then new species will be formed. So because of formation of new species, it will discourage or the elimination of the other species. Okay, see the last paragraph. At any time during primary or secondary succession, natural or human induced disturbances, underline fire and deforestation, can convert a particular several stage of succession to an earlier stage. Also, disturbance create new condition that encourage some species and discourage or eliminate other species. Okay, so this question of the ecological succession, okay, is completed here. See, the language of this question is very much harder. If you are not getting any sentence, then you can message me. Otherwise, you can see the video of same topic in Gujarati medium. Okay, thank you very much.